coming home to us and reclaiming ourselves and also our inner wisdom. And sometimes we don't take time to reconnect and honour that heart of real life that's always testing us. And with every intention that we make, we can get pulled out.
Just give yourself permission. All of this is within you, and we always look for external validation, but the only person that you really have to please in life is yourself. And if you don't fill your cup first, you're literally useless to anyone else.
And at that moment, I made a decision that we don't just come here to suffer. There must be more to this thing called life. It's never too late to change. It's never too late to discover who you are.
The most thing about the visibility is also being willing to ask for help, for support. And that one has really, really been difficult for me. And I recognize that people want to support you.
I think that's one of those things that we don't talk enough about in this world, is that it takes a lot of courage to step up and ask for that first immediate help.
You just got to believe that things are working out in your best interest, and you got to listen to the call of your passion and trust that it's going to lead you in a direction that's going to be extraordinary.
Hello, beautiful souls. It is Sophia from Sacred You. Thank you so much for being here. But before we dive into today's Wisdom Circle, I have a small request from my heart. If our conversations ever resonate with you or support you on your journey, please subscribe to our channel or like this video. It helps us grow Sacred You, welcome more powerful voices into this space, and keep you connected to everything we share. Thank you so much for walking this path with us, and let us begin with today's conversation. We are live for another wonderful and incredible Wisdom Circle. My name is Sophia from Sacred You. More importantly, and I'm truly excited because today in our Zoom call in the house, we have the beautiful Anne Irwin, who we're not going to embarrass too much because it's Jo's birthday. But Jo is here with another wonderful round of returning to self, reclaiming yourself and your inner wisdom. Jo, thank you ever so much. I'm going to hand it over to you to tell us about the topic, why you want to talk about returning to yourself, before we introduce the amazing women who have joined us today.
Yes, thank you, Sophia. Welcome everybody. Welcome to those who are watching the replay as well, or you're watching live. I'd love to know if you have any questions, drop them into the chat or wherever you are. But today we're talking about returning to self. It's our monthly chat circle where we talk about all things coming home to us and reclaiming ourselves and also our inner wisdom. And in the spirit of the theme that I chose this year about support being your superpower, it's like a series. I wanted to bring that to the circle this year and really honor ourselves. Take that moment, take that pause and just be present and share all of our wisdom, all of everything that we know as women that we can, embed into other people that are on that journey as well. Taking a leap towards yourself and who you want to be. And when we actually do that, what comes up is today's theme. When we take those steps forward, and always something shows up for us to look at, to heal, to make peace with. And this is the discussion I'd love to have today. But before we do, let's all introduce ourselves. Let's go around the room and briefly introduce yourself and what you do, and perhaps share with our audience one word for where you are. Where are you right now? How are you feeling right now? And especially as we're stepping into the second half of the year, right? We're July, we're halfway through the year. Wow. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there wanting to do so much more. We're very ambitious, us women in business, aren't we? So let's feel into how we're feeling. And so let's start with Shaz, because you're on my right there.
No worries. Thank you. I'm Shaz Sydney. I'm a transformational life coach, a psychic medium and healer. I work with women who have survived the hard stuff and know deep down that they're here to do more than just survive and exist in this world, that they have something powerful to offer My work blends practical transformation, nervous system regulation, and spiritual connection, helping you to release old patterns, trust in yourself again, and step into the life that you know you're meant to live. I love connecting with people as a spiritual mentor. I love guiding people back to their own intuition, their inner power, and embracing every aspect of who they are. We all have a story to tell, and that story just drives us forward. My word would be just groundbreaking. That's just what comes to my mind. Wow. Because I am doing so many things to change the ground that I stand on, and in preparation of the rest of the year for the releases that I have coming up and the new beautiful programs that I'm working towards, and my book that I'm finalizing, getting ready to send to the editor for publication.
Wow. Congratulations on the book. It's always exciting when you hear that somebody's about to launch their book, and well done, Shaz, and groundbreaking. Love that. Love that. Lots of going on. Welcome.
Thank you, Joe. My name is Laura Lynn Alden. I'm from South Florida in the United States. I am a communication expert, a professional speaker, and a published author. I'm also a TEDx speaker, curator, and coach. I created my communication methodology to help people better understand what the other person's saying so we can get where we want to go more peacefully, with ease and grace. And what I didn't realize as I created it, that I was also healing myself at the same time. My word for the year, actually, for myself personally, is remember. And remember who I am, remember what I'm up to. Remember is, it could be applied in so many different ways. So when I feel overwhelmed, I take a breath and just say, remember, and it grounds me. That would be the word.
I love that. I love that. Remember, because so often we forget, don't we, to remember.
Yes.
And the communication, communication. And I believe you've also written a book, haven't you, or several? Is that right?
Yes, yeah. I have. Yeah, it's called Manaholic, A Journey to Recovering Myself.
Love that. Manaholic. Fantastic. Thanks, Laura Lynn. Janna.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome.
Hi, everyone. My name is Janna WELLEMEYER. I am a grief recovery specialist as well as a shamanic practitioner, and I definitely love helping women get out of some of the hardest, most difficult times in their life where they don't feel like talking, don't feel like they have their own circle, and just being able to move forward again in that grace and in that knowing that they can build a community and build so much more in themselves. They don't have to just to give up anymore. And this year's word for myself is actually intentionality. So
yeah, and you're staying with that for the second half of the year? Yeah,
absolutely. It seems to be a good one for our family. I'm actually here on the Oregon coast right now. We travel as a family in our RV, so we'll actually be jumping up to move to a new location here pretty soon, but intentionality seems to be a good one with that.
Fantastic. I love that. I love that. And yeah, it's so important, isn't it? Well done, traveling with a family. That's awesome. Everyone's dream. So thank you for joining us, Janna. That's fantastic. Sarah.
Hello, Sarah Ruccasano here. I am an author, motivational speaker, and the founder of Embolden Adventures, an encouragement platform that inspires personal, professional, and spiritual development and transformation. And I am excited, as you ladies know, Joe, I'll show you offline after, but I was showing off my book after 4 years of in the making. I know I've been talking about it for so long. I got the proof print in the mail and I've been going through it. It's just absolutely extraordinary. So very proud of that. I don't have children, but when I did see this book and when I first saw the cover a while ago, it was like staring at a baby's face. You're like, my God, is this what it looks like? Amazing. It's so cool. So yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm on a high right now. So I guess my word is relief. I'm relieved. I just have this feeling of, oh, thank God, it's over. I'm here. I'm finally made it to the end. And everything that is supporting the book's launch, there's a lot of different moving parts and revenue streams that are coming as I relaunch Embolden Adventures, the rebranding and everything that comes along with it. It's all starting to come. The gears are clicking. Everything's in place. And so yesterday was like, gripping, and today was like I'm relieved. It feels amazing. When you finally finish that semester, you finish your final and you walk out the door and you know you did a really good job. So that's how I feel right now. I know, it's amazing. Hooray! Let's go.
Celebrate, Sarah. That's awesome, Sarah. Congratulations. And we're all relieved for you. That's wonderful. Wonderful news.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get my hands on it. Yay.
You're going to love
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Thanks. And
Yes,
where are you from?
Originally, I'm from Uzbekistan, but right now I'm in New York, United States, in New York.
Fantastic. Welcome.
Thank you.
Please share.
So I am the founder of Reclaim Your Life, transformational coach, best-selling author of The Gift Inside, 12 Steps to Heal from Unworthiness, Brokenness, and Victim Mentality so that you can find your happy. I believe that just like an electric plant generates electricity, we can generate happiness from within. And I stand for 3 words: live, dream, and grow. Living is about wellness of physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual states. Dreaming is about the pursuit of dreams, and growing is about continuous evolution and growth as we learn about ourselves and the world around us and make it a better place for the future. I am also the host of 2 podcasts, Single Parent Success Stories and Reclaim Your Life with Irina, and I run a YouTube channel called Happiness Academy. And I am excited. I am launching my book number 8 tomorrow, which is called actually Reclaim Your Life, The Breaking That Made You New. It's a book anthology. And my word for this year is reclaim. Reclaim, yes. Reclaim of self, coming back to yourself. I believe we are always going through reclamation because we're always changing. Every 6 months we change who we are, we change how we see the world. And through evolving through those stages, we solve maybe different problems. What used to bother us 6 months ago, maybe now we would laugh at it. Like, why was it even a problem before? Because every year we become different. So I'm grateful to be here. Thank you so much, Jo.
You're welcome. And yes, everything is temporary, right? And at the time it feels so hard. But congratulations as well on your book launch.
Thank you.
Awesome. I think there's a bit of a theme happening today. Awesome. I love it. I love it. So thank you all for introducing yourself. And I think we all have quite a bit in common in the work we do. And I find that in Sacred You community that a lot of us are here to support others in the world and share our own experiences and growth. And I also work with women, mainly anxiety and overwhelm. Been in the health and nutrition and wellness industries for over 40 years now. So I've been doing all the things. Actually in the beautiful Byron Bay region at a yoga retreat right now for the week. And that's a gift I think that we all need to give ourselves, is to just take that time and reconnect to our soul's calling so that we can be the best version of ourselves and we can give more of ourselves. And I think the call we were on last week with Shaz and Lauren was all about that, filling our own cup first so that we can be more or give more. And I love the live, dream, growth. That's just phenomenal. I love that. So thank you for sharing. But why don't we all just take a big, deep breath together and just land in the space so that we can be fully present before we open up the conversation, because I know it's going to be deep and profound and meaningful. So just maybe hand on heart if you feel called, and closing down the eyes if you like, and just breathing in deeply and slowly releasing that breath out. Slow exhale. So we fully land here. And last month we looked back and we looked forward actually. But today I feel like we're right in the middle of the leap into the next part of the year. So just feeling into what that may feel like or look like for you. What will it bring you? And just know that everything, all that we talk about today belongs here, and that we are touching women all around the world with our wisdom and care. So back in our space, and as I mentioned, we've reflected last month we named who we wanted to become, and we set the intentions for that, and we chose words just like we did today to start this call. And then we stepped back into our lives and and real life, because real life happens outside of what we do, right? And sometimes we don't take time to reconnect and honor that part of real life that's always testing us. And with every intention that we make, we get pulled off. We can get pulled out. So today, it's all about what happens next when we do get pulled out of our center, pulled out of our direction, pulled out of our vision, our goals, our dreams, our intentions. Because that's really what nobody really talks about. When we start becoming who we want to become and be, something unexpected can show up. And for me, I know that those unexpecteds, after years of doing the work, the unexpecteds are a gift. They're an opportunity, right? And it's often something that it's not loud, but it can be quite unkind internally. And it can show up as a fear that we aren't quite ready to face. And who knows, we know when we're going for our goals and our dreams and all that things, there's that, I often know, oh my gosh, this is all too much. Can I do it? All the things, the self-doubt creeps in. But I know if I go through that and gently navigate that, magic happens. Yeah. And that can really be the biggest breakthrough you ever have, when you actually face that and you don't listen to those voices saying, who do you think you are? Oh, this is not. I've actually recently launched into something quite new, and it's been really, those voices have come up. Hang on a minute. What do you know about this? And then I have to remind myself of all the work that I do that actually, yes, I do, and reinforce that, even with 40 years of work. Yeah. So since last month, I know a lot of you have taken lots of steps and leaps. I know Sarah's taken lots of steps and leaps, and finally her book's here. But I'd love to ask you, without judgment, that's sometimes we're good at judging, but creating this experience of where we are right now, what's a moment that you've chosen to leap into that you've actually not been fully ready for? If you can think of a time that you may have not been fully ready, but you took the leap, what did it teach you? And in this space, we just all jump in. Anyone can jump in. I'm not going to call names. So just whatever comes through for you, if what you want to share, maybe tell us about a moment where you took a leap or a big breakthrough that you've had on your journey.
I'll jump in, Joe. About 5 years ago, I was about to turn 50, and I was in what I hope to be my last unhealthy relationship in my lifetime. And I was about to turn 50, and I had this moment where I realized if I stay on this path, I'm going to end up like my mom. And my mom, she was a people pleaser. She swallowed all her no's. She always said yes. People always praised her for being so easy and easygoing. And she ended up in a wheelchair during her golden years and needing to be cared for. And I recognized that I was following in her footsteps. And had I stayed in that relationship, I was looking at my future. And when I left that relationship, I left it with my business in the tank because it was around the time COVID hit. I left it. I had given up all my belongings to move to another state. And I was leaving because I was taking care of his home, his business, his kids, his house, all the things I gave myself up completely. And I lost my independence. So when I decided to leap into the unknown, I had nothing. I didn't know where I was going. I had no money. My business was half in the tank. And I decided that I would be more uncomfortable if I stayed knowing what my future was than to jump into the unknown. Wow. And what it taught me was that even though you don't have it all figured out, for me, it was like, even though I didn't have it all figured out, when I took the leap of faith, life rose up to meet me where I am. Mm-hmm. And that's probably the biggest lesson I learned from that.
Yeah. Wow. Powerful. Powerful stuff. Yeah, and isn't that interesting? We don't always know what's on the other side, but that faith, trust, take the leap, and life will support you. That's the belief. All right. So thank you for sharing that beautiful story. I think so many people can relate to this. Who else would like to chime in there?
I can share. So I had, I guess, couple of leaps. First leap was when I was living a miserable life. I became a single parent to a newborn and a 5-year-old, and I was living in that miserable place of being waiting for somebody to come rescue me, but of course nobody did. It took me a year, and I was standing on a station platform one morning, missing my train by mere seconds, and started sobbing and crying and realizing that I could no longer live like that. And at that moment, I made a decision that we don't just come here to suffer. There must be more to this thing called life, because every day I felt I was getting closer to my death, where I didn't feel like I was living. So a leap of faith, I guess, I took. I wanted to discover what it is like to be happy again. I didn't know what it looked like or what steps I needed to take, but I made a decision that kind of unfolded, that led me to be speaking with you today. That kind of started that whole journey. And it's been incredible what I've learned as a result. I learned there are so many pieces and parts of me that I didn't know I had. I developed courage, I developed confidence, I was an introvert, and I'm still maybe an introvert, but here I am writing books, hosting podcasts, doing all different things. And so the lesson here is it's never too late to change. It's never too late to discover who you are. And we all have, there is a lot of possibility within us which we have forgotten because, like Lorelyn shared, many years of people pleasing, many years of pretending to be somebody who you are not, because we all want to fit in, we want to be safe, we want to be respected, we want to be included. And oftentimes we say a lot of times no to ourselves, as opposed to when we want to say no outside, we say no to ourselves every time we say yes somewhere else. Tuning into yourself, listening what is there, because there are so many gifts. I believe we all have a gift inside of us, and the job is to discover what that gift is and share it with the world. So that was one leap of faith that comes to mind.
Takes so much courage, doesn't it? I so relate to that, Irina. I was also a single mum, and the fear was just crippling. 4 children, I was 6 months pregnant actually, just the unknown, right? But then the faith, that I could do it, the strength, and the children gave me that strength. So I had to carry on. And then finding the tools, finding the people to support, and just redefining yourself and your life, isn't it? Wow, thank you for sharing that. Beautiful. So maybe, I've got ducks in the pool. How funny. Maybe, go Sarah.
Oh, I'm in the middle of the jump right now. You probably can imagine. Once upon a time, 4 years ago in 2022, which will be book number 2, by the way, because this book is a part of a transformational series. January 2022, in my tiny apartment in New York City, I declared, that's it, I quit. My career, my 20-year career, everything. I just hit a breaking point, and a really bad one. And I just walked away from it all. I sold my apartment, which took 2 years. All my stuff's in storage. I quit my career. I'm no longer wearing the outfit that you wear to work. I no longer have a boss. And I was figuring it out as I was going. That's it. I quit. I'm going to write a book. And in progress, I think I used that analogy in one of our last wisdom circles, where I said, I'm building the car as it's driving, right? The car's tilted and still putting some finishing touches on the car with nuts and bolts. But 4 years later, I'm here, right on the precipice of change. And in that time, I put myself on stage and I became a public speaker. I put myself in a speaking competition because I thought that I probably need to figure out how to market this book since I'm self-publishing. And in doing so, this book the feedback I'm getting so far is just absolutely extraordinary. And I know this book is definitely a real gift for the world. It's a playbook and a guide for the times now we're in terms of ascension and transformation. It's a bit of an autobiography, but there's more to it than that. It's a spiritual discovery and an adventure for that matter. But a lot of work I've been doing is mindset work, because I'm trying to envision what it's like if this book takes off and it goes global. And then all of a sudden now you have people who've read your story and know who you are. And I just don't know who you are, right? You're a fan. Wow, amazing. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. But the feedback I'm getting so far is that this book's quite important and it could change some lives. So I'm here to be a way shower. I'm here to help show a way and help inspire and embolden others to change their lives too. But you're watching me do it, and I'm going down a path, and if you want to come along, amazing. So I think that's kind of where I'm at now. I don't know, I'm trusting the unfolding. Surrender and trust is really one of the themes from this book. And you just got to believe that things are working out in your best interest, and you got to listen to the call of your passion and trust that it's going to lead you in a direction that's going to be extraordinary.
Yeah, so inspiring. Thank you. So inspiring. Goosebumps and heartache, not in a good way. It's beautiful. Thank you, Sarah. And it's you've done it in such a short time, man. I just so admire that you just poured, and the trust and the surrender and the courage it takes to do that, right? Kudos to you, girl. Love it. Love it. Yeah. Did anyone else want to chime in? Yeah.
Sure. My leap of faith was basically the full trust in self and trust in God's plan and purpose. I had a business. I had a crystal business doing the work that I loved, thought I was following the passion. Everything was great. It was hard work. I started it from nothing, built it up to something that was beginning to thrive, just getting to that precipice where I was about to really take off with it. And circumstances happened and it failed. From that, I went and retreated into self. I disappeared. I thankfully was able to relocate, go and stay with some friends, and then just focused on the deep inner healing, the deep inner wisdom of self, asking, railing at God, screaming, what on earth is going on? And trying to understand how much trauma one person could go through and why everything had to be so hard. And in thinking that, all I could see is that I'm not the only one, and there has to be a reason for it. There has to be some understanding to it. And then my spirit guides wouldn't quit on me. They just kept telling me that I was meant for more. I was meant to do more and be more present, more available, and more recognizable to people. And I'm like, what do you mean by that? And that introspection really led me to just deep dive into inner healing. I found every coach that I could follow, every mindset shift that I could do, every self realization of understanding my life lessons, what it meant, why all of that bad stuff had to happen, and then the discovery of the identity. Realizing that I had no idea who I was. I just knew that I wanted to help other people. So my spirit guides led me to create oracle cards and affirmation cards and journals to help people reconnect to their intuition and build back this coaching business that I have today. And it was through COVID that most of it actually started, because I don't have a family. I miscarried twins, so I don't have children, and I fit into a slot where nobody or no one, and in COVID, I was very grateful at the time. I had a flatmate. So I lived in a shared house, and otherwise the loneliness would have got to you. But it was through that I just started opening like Zooms for chats and conversations. I would have group chats and would have conversations, and that led to coaching and advice of how to work through different bits and pieces. And the whole inner question of who am I to give advice, life experience is one, and then trusting the process and where it leads you to it. And that has guided me to create programs. And as I said, I'm writing another book about archangels and spirituality. I'm very active spiritually. I'm associated with a spiritual church, and I help people every way I can. My first key question every single day is, how can I be of service? And that gets you out of your own head of, oh my God, what do I need to think about me? And in it, it's always about my aspect first, my boundaries, my understanding, my identity, but it is being in service to others. And that was the greatest gift of understanding that I could ever find through that process. Because when I was living it, I did not even want to exist. But the transformation through it and the understanding and the reconnection, and as Laureline said, the remembering of self mattered. And I love it, like thrive on it. And meeting people that go through it, it shows you're not the only one. We all have stories to tell, and some are better than others and some are worse than others. I can always think of so much worse than what I've been through, but I also can't always comprehend how can you go through so much. And it's literally to be of service to other people, to help them to reconnect and remember who they really are.
Yeah. And with all of you so far, I see that deep passion and being of service to others and self. I love that. And the other thing I'm hearing, Shaz, is that deep listening and taking that time in amongst all the learning and all the things, because I used to learn so much because I thought there was something wrong with me. I was coming from a place of need, that something's wrong with me. I don't know enough. I need to keep learning and I overdeveloped that. And because it debilitated me from actually taking action and moving forward, because I had to know more, I had to do more, I had to make sure I was doing it right and perfect, and all the things, all the little woundings or big woundings and trauma that we carry, and that just stillness and deep listening. What are my next steps is so important, isn't it? Because we all have guides, we all have people that we can connect to above and below, and we forget. So remembering again, Lauren, and remembering. Beautiful. Thank you, Shaz. Janna, did you want to pipe in any?
Yeah, I think my biggest so far has actually been when I started on my own personal healing journey. I was, as a stay-at-home mom, I perpetually giving everything for everybody else and forgot that I existed. It was going through illness with my youngest child and I had a stillborn. I had dealt with so much that I didn't think I could go any further forward. I didn't have a support system. I didn't know where to go. And so finding that leap of faith to say, I am done living this way, I can't do this anymore, and stepping out, finding help, finding the various coaches, reading all the affirmations, just doing whatever it was to get me out of that deep, dark space. I think that's one of those things that we don't talk enough about in this world, is that it takes a lot of courage to step up and ask for that first immediate help. And then it's a perpetual climb every day after that as well, where we're constantly doing more and more self-work. We're helping everybody else because we don't want them to be in the same space that we were in. And it just becomes such a heartfelt business. That's how I got where I am today, is starting that healing journey, moving forward, step by step, healing my own past, healing my childhood, healing everything, and finding and better defining who I want to be today and who I want to be again in the future. I spend a lot of time, even still today, defining who I would still like to be in the future. And I think that's part of the fun of being on a healing journey. Nobody really likes to talk about the dark side of it, with I have my traumas, I have this that I need to heal. But there's also fun sides to that healing journey where you actually get to say who you want to be, do what you want to do, like quitting your job, writing that book, doing all those amazing things. We're such strong people individually as well as collectively, and we just have so much to offer, so many people out there. It's so inspiring to be in this circle and see so many other women that are so like-minded out there to help so many others.
Thank you. Yes, I love that. I love that. Thank you so much, because it's so true. And it leads into the next piece I wanted to talk about around the fear, and it coming from a place of not stopping us, but a place of what if, or a sign that finally I can have a choice to do something different and move forward towards something that you actually want, is what you're talking about there. And what it matters to you, what matters to you, and choosing what matters to you. So with that in mind, I'm just curious to know, what's one small, real step that we could offer our audience that could help them out this week in making that making that choice to move forward in a different direction. If they are stuck in a place of, oh, I really want to do this, but I don't feel worthy enough, coming from that place of not really being, or don't feel ready, you know how we talk about, oh, I'm not ready yet, I've got to do this and have all. For me, it was all about the perfectionist, having everything imperfect before I actually started. Yeah, so what could you say would be one small baby step, if a baby step or real step towards they could take that would help them to take the leap, even when they're not feeling ready?
One of the things that I did after I left that relationship was 2024. I've always wanted to travel. Yeah. I was a single mom, like some of the other ladies on here, and I spent most of my life dedicated to raising my children, and I put my own dreams to the side. So I always wanted to travel. So in 2024, I realized I was living by the ocean. Life was great. And I realized I got way too comfortable. I became complacent. And I said, and I was going to adopt a dog. I was going to adopt an animal. And I said, Laura Lynn, if you adopt an animal, you're never going to travel. What are you thinking? And I started to research. I wanted to live abroad. I wanted to travel the world. And so what I did was, I did do it. I traveled as a nomad for a whole year through South America, Central America, and parts of Europe. And what I did was every day I took one step. I had to identify, what did I want to do? And most people know what they want to do. We're just too scared to admit that we want to do it sometimes. So, and then I started to dissect it. They say, how do you eat an elephant? One piece at a time, right? They say one bite at a time. And so I would wake up and I would have this list of things that I could do to work towards that dream, like research, talk to other nomads, look at Wi-Fi plans, look at global travel. So I had this whole list of all the things that I needed to do. And every morning I would wake up and look at the list and say, okay, what excites me on this list today? What do I have the energy for? Or is there something that needs my attention right now on this list? So those were my two questions. Does something need my attention right now? And then the other thing was, what do I have the energy or the capacity to do today? So even if it was a small task of researching different Wi-Fi plans. So just constant little steps towards the bigger vision. That's what I would say.
Yay, I love that. Lists, I love lists. And I even love ticking off. That's the best part about lists. Yes. But yeah, that's great. Very practical, but very important, because that can keep that energy moving. Yeah. Keep it towards what you want rather than away from. Anyone else have any wisdom to share there, Sarah?
I'll add to what Laura Lynn said, and awesome for you for traveling the world. I too am a world traveler, and it's definitely a way to learn for sure. It's a global education. And I will say, I read something, I think it was this morning. I can't remember off the top of my head if it was last night, this morning, on the internet, where someone said that if someone's upset with their job and they say, I want to quit and I want to run a coffee shop. And this person that is referencing this example said, all right, if I hear someone say that, I would ask them, what beans would you roast? And if the person stops dead in their tracks, that means they haven't thought about this and there's no real passion. They're just saying it to say it. And I think in Laura Lynn's case, you probably could have answered the question, I want to travel the world. Okay, what have you thought about? What specific nuanced detail has gone through your head for you to really consider this as real? And I think that should be a sign. If you're just saying it to say it, you're not serious and you haven't gone through the rock bottom maybe yet. And then when you're at rock bottom, like in my case, where I hit the major breakdown, fear isn't an option. You just pummel through it. It doesn't matter if you're scared. This has to be the way. I have to do this no matter what. And there's a bit of relief and excitement too. So you follow your passion. So I think that's what it is. It's what beans are you ready to roast? What Wi-Fi are you willing to consider? What's the nuance that you actually did think through and say, okay, wait, I do have a plan. And then you trust the unfolding. It continues to show the way. I think I've referenced this Rumi quote before. When you take that first step, the way appears. Once you decide to walk, the way appears, and butchering the quote, but you get the idea. You took a step. Now you know what the details are and you trust them more. You'll learn as you go, as you continue down your new journey to greatness.
Yeah, love that. That's so cool. And yeah, how do you know it's your passion? What a great observation and Lauren, starting with that, the Wi-Fi, the list, would you do? What country would you visit first? Or what beans would you roast? Yeah, and that's getting to the real nitty gritty of it. And then taking the action, having the steps to the momentum to keep moving forward. And like you said, taking that leap and there's no turning back. There's none. This is where I'm going. Fantastic. Thanks, Sarah. Irene, you're unmuted. Did you want to?
Yeah, so in my journey, what I can recommend when I was embarking on the journey of personal development and growth is sitting down and drafting what kind of life do you want to create, because we can all write a new story and our past does not define our future. So drafting on a piece of paper, what do you want to create, and then reciting it daily. That's what I did when I went for my morning walks, like Tony Robbins calls the power hour. Imagining and feeling in your senses what you wanted your life to be. And my dreams from, I think it was 2016, came to be realized because I wanted to be a writer, I wanted to be a speaker, and I've done going to be 8 books in 4 years, and I've spoken on stages and have 2 podcasts. So all of that is possible. And another tip or recommendation, like ladies already mentioned, do something that sets your soul on fire. As I wrote in one of my books, practice 10 minutes of joy. Do something that you enjoy, that brings you joy, not because it makes you money, not of anything, but to have something to look forward to, whether it's singing or baking or creating something. So for me, it's singing. Singing what I will always wanted to do. So I do 10 minutes of singing every day because it makes me feel alive. And we become present when we do something that we enjoy. And our life is so fast-paced. Being present is so important because only from the present can we create something better. We cannot relive the past and we cannot live in the future. We can only be in the present, and from that moment we can create a different kind of story. So those are my suggestions.
Awesome. I love that. I love that. Being present and doing what you're joyous, what makes you feel good, right? What you're joyous about. That's a real indicator. And then turn that into the next steps. And I don't do anything that doesn't bring me joy anymore. It's a no. Does it make my heart sing? Yep, I'm there. If it doesn't, check you later. Love it. Thank you, Anna.
Yeah, for me, one of the things that I love to talk about with people is follow the dream. We all have different dreams, and your dream, when it keeps coming back to you, is always meant for you. You are never going to dream something that you can't possibly achieve. And why put it off till later when you can actually start today? Even if it's one small step along the way. So I was at a conference and a business coach turned around and said, in your business aspect and even in life, what is 1 or 3 steps that I can do every single day to move the needle forward? And it's the small actions that make the bigger steps. We all look at it and go, oh my God, it's too big. Just break it down into minor steps. Like Lauren said, what sort of Wi-Fi do I have to look at? What's available in the country? What is transport? How do I get there? What are flights? All of those things. What are all the underlying aspects? And then break it down into mini projects and then just start moving. Too many people in this world, and if you're on social media like I am, saddens my heart. It really breaks my heart when you see all these people living their dream because they have a disease that has given them a death sentence, and they wait to the last minute of their life to go and live their dream. If you have a dream, it's there for a reason, and the only reason you have it is because you're the only one that can achieve it. It may not be exactly as you envision it because you don't know what that plan is until you expand on it. So write it down, expand on it, ask yourself, what does it fully look like? And then take actions towards it. Because the longer you take, the more you're giving your body and your soul a reason to create disease to divert you. Pay attention to the inner guidance. It wouldn't exist if it wasn't meant for you, because you don't actually dream about anything that you are not meant to have. It just doesn't align. It doesn't fall into the sphere.
Yep, 100%. And baby steps. Don't let the dream be just debilitate you because it feels too hard, too big. Just take those baby steps. And what is that? They say that the biggest regret of the dying is that they didn't
Things not done.
Get the things done they wanted to do. And I think when you look at it from that perspective, it can actually put a bit of a fire in your belly, right? Like, why wait? Great message, Chaz. Janna?
Yeah, I'm going to kind of agree with the last two as well and say definitely writing it down. Journaling has always been a good one for me. There's some power in listening to yourself put into words your true feelings and thoughts about whatever it is that you're wanting to accomplish next. And then one of the next biggest ones I know for me personally was actually speaking it out loud. There's power in hearing your own voice say that I'm going to do this. I'm not going to let somebody talk me out of it. It's just so powerful what our brains can accomplish when we set our hearts to something. So those would be my suggestions.
I love that. Absolutely. Speaking it out loud. And I think, Janna, you mentioned that as well. And I remembered it brought me back to when I was single parent, pregnant, blah, blah. I printed out the extract out of Louise L. Hay's book. I was desperate. I didn't know it was going to work. I'm like, I'll do anything because it was either that or to stay in this pit. And I had these children to care for. And every morning I stood in the kitchen, I made it all pretty, I colored it in and I brought it to life. And I read it before the kids got out of bed. And I stood there and cried as I read every sentence about what I wanted my life to look like. And literally within months, my life turned around. And that led me on this journey of so many wonderful things, traveling the world and with 4 children, right? And in a business that I spoke on stages and I couldn't imagine I could have done like this. Yeah, I was a mess. So yeah, I believe that speaking it out loud, writing it down, all the things that you're talking about here is a really great ways to take the leap. Yeah, get out of our head into our heart, into our bellies and make that fire happen. So it's wonderful to hear you all share that. And because these words aren't just permission slips, right? You don't have to feel ready. You just have to start. And this is the thing. This is the piece. So I know we've got about 10 minutes. So I wonder if we could then now shift it a gear into, and you already said this at the beginning, what your year is about, what your word was about for the year. But maybe go a little bit deeper into feeling what that's like. So what you're taking into this next half of the year. What are you choosing, even when it feels scary, to continue on the trajectory that you already have the momentum? Because you ladies are already doing it. But there's a lot of women out there watching that need our support and need our encouragement. So maybe sharing with them, a word that's going to help them, not just you. And I think a few words have come up today, but maybe just in there looking from the perspective of supporting them, what could you offer?
I think the word is trust, because I can't turn back now. I can't repurchase my apartment. I already wrote the book. You guys saw it. I got to do it now. It's time. The roller coaster's ready. Like when it's about to go down, you're done. You just got to let go and trust that I'm going to be all right, man. This is going to work out in a way that's beyond my wildest expectations. I got to trust and surrender. So I believe that good things are on their way, and I just got to watch the show and see what unfolds.
You. I love that. I love that. You're already in. No turning back. Yeah, one way. Yeah. So they've got to take that leap. Beautiful. Thank you, Sarah.
What I mentioned in the beginning was my word for myself was remember, but I also have a word for my business, which is visibility. And I'm more introverted, so I have a tendency to sit in the background. So I've been forcing myself out of my comfort zone on a regular basis, whether it's joining wisdom circles, at being on podcasts, showing up for myself and my business in a different way, hosting Zooms, not knowing whether somebody's going to show up, not show up. But the most thing about the visibility is also being willing to ask for help, for support. And that one has really been difficult for me because I was out on my own when I was 16. I raised children by myself. I have done it all these years by myself. And so my trained behavior is that I have to, nobody's going to do it but me. And so really it felt like it has this last couple of months has felt like really swallowing my pride, but it's really surrendering. And I recognize that people want to support you. When I traveled to other countries, people said, what are you thinking? You're a single woman. You're traveling to countries where you're not even fluent in the language. I got all these warnings and I found quite the opposite. I found that even though I couldn't speak the language, people were willing to help me out. But I had to be willing to be visible and to ask for the help. So I would say visibility would be the word that I'd like to leave with everybody today. Being open to being visible.
That's beautiful. That's so, we have parallel lives, it sounds, because very similar. And I recently ran a campaign for business women about being visible and playing a bigger game and being visible, because I was so invisible for so long. Again, you wouldn't think I was an introvert, but I am by nature. But I've had to learn to step out of my comfort zone and do the uncomfortable till I became comfortable. And being invisible, it was safe. If I was not being seen, and we can't do business without being visible. So that's a big one. And ask. Yes. Why don't we ask more? Beautiful. Thanks, Lorraine. Who else? Anyone want to pipe in?
Yeah.
Last word for the audience, Shaz. Thank you.
Mine is permission, but not permission from anyone else. Just give yourself permission, okay? All of this is within you, and we always look for external validation, but the only person that you really have to please in life is yourself. And if you don't fill your cup first, you're literally useless to anyone else. When you give yourself permission to go and take that step and to do that action and to be what you want to be and prioritize your needs above everyone else, you're actually more able to fulfill and provide for many more. And that permission, you can't ask your partner or your lover, your mother, your father, your sister, your brother. You just got to look for it within self and then take one step, one tiny little action every day. And when you do, the world will change, because one step will turn into a mile and the next thing will turn into a whole, you'll be around the globe in 5 minutes. You won't even realize it, but just give yourself permission to take that action.
Permission. I love that. 100%. Give yourself permission. You are more capable. You are more powerful. You are more incredible than what you believe you are. So take that baby step. Thank you, Shaz.
And I would say grace. I think everybody being on a journey, we jump in, we have a lot of fear, we need to trust. We know there's a lot to come, but we also need to have grace with ourselves and understand that we're going to have some minor setbacks at times. Things are going to be thrown at us that we don't expect, and that's okay too. We can still come through that regardless. Just have grace with yourself.
100%. That's great advice, because life is going to pull us in all sorts of directions, and we come back home to ourselves, give ourselves grace and compassion, love. And that's really all we need to continue. So thank you, Janna, for that. And is that everybody? All right.
I would say making a decision that you want to change, making a decision that you want to create a different life. I believe it all comes down to a decision. That's the first step in anything, is making a decision that you're going to choose something different. And then the journey would unfold, everyone has mentioned. So.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, definitely decide what is it that I want? What do I choose? That's beautiful. Thank you, ladies. It's been an honor. And if anyone's out there watching and you would love a community of women walking beside you, because that's what we do, we collaborate, we support each other. There's no competition here. Yeah. So if you want that, then I know that all the details of all the ladies are going to be in the chat below the video. Reach out and have the conversation. Just have a conversation, a kind conversation for you, and start that next step. And I know that all these ladies will be warmly welcoming you with open arms. So please do yourself a favor. So much wisdom in the room. I love it. So let's just return to our body for a second. Hand on heart. We're going to close with courage and warmth. One slow, deep breath together. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being you and always being willing to share yourselves with the world. And that's the first step, courage. So this second half of the year, we are going to go in with it fearlessly and be willing to try something different. So take that first step. Thank you all so much for joining up today. And I'm going to welcome Sophia back to close our circle today.
And thank you, Jo. It has been incredible. I've been sitting here listening. I've actually got, I'm not going to say goosebumps, but heart flutters. It's like, it is such a powerful conversation. So I just want to honor you, Jo, for bringing it to Sacred You in the world, and also honor Laurelyn and Shaz and Janna, Irina, and our beautiful Sarah to joining us again for an incredible wisdom circle. I do look forward to the next one, Jo, in next month. For anyone who is listening, whether it's live or the replay, come and join us again in a month's time. And as Jo said, click on the links below, reach out to these amazing women. And also while you're there, check out Sacred You. Come and join us. We're an online global community for women to belong, connect, and become, to step into their power, to return to their self, especially as Jo was saying and everyone else. So thank you, and we will see you again next time. Oh, before we go, happy birthday to Jo. Happy birthday to Jo. Happy birthday to Jo. Have a fantastic week, Jo. I'm really excited to hear that you are really returning to yourself, reclaiming what's you, and taking yourself away for a yoga retreat. I honor.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it. Lots of love.